We all know the Colossal Titan is attacking our city and we all need to defend. So lately I've been seeing a lot of people asking a lot of questions on how to hit S tier or above, because this event does tend to be pretty difficult. Most of us are still struggling. Now I have managed to hit double S tier, which I think is pretty good. It's not the best, but it's certainly not the worst. And today I want to make a video and hopefully help you get there. Hey everybody, I'm BearCozy. Let's jump into this thing. If you are struggling with teams, there is a leaderboard here, of course, that you can do. As you can see, I'm at 2.8 right now. That is, some of that is RNG dependent. However, I'm going to go over some of the heroes that I found to be working really well for me. And then, of course, you can go to the individual rankings and you can see there are plenty of people that are doing a lot more damage than me. And you can take a look at their comps, and most of them have all their heroes fully ascended and maxed out. So as I mentioned before, I did hit 2.8 mil, which I think is pretty good. Let's jump in. Now, here is my team A. William, I am using Shane. Shane does help a lot for the extra damage. Bulin, Opal, and Jacob. Some of this I have to manual because Opal needs to sync her ultimate with Jacob's, so I do have to manual a little bit. And then team B, I am experimenting a little bit with. I am still struggling. I feel like we could probably do a little bit better if we take out Raven. Raven has not been doing very much damage. So the option that I was thinking about trying is either Hector, or since I get to a point where the guy just wipes my team, the Titan just one-shots my whole team regardless of what's going on, you can try Joe Costa. Joe Costa might be able to work, might give you another turn to survive. However, that's been okay. We can also use Flarence as well. Flarence will give us some extra added damage, so let's go with her. Jumping into the Titan fight. Now, one thing I want to be very, very clear on, we have to start on manual, at least for me, and we have to hold our ultimates for the face. What we want to do is we want to go ahead and do defense down, and we want to target the hand on the left-hand side. Try to not only hold your ultimates, but we also want to try to get it down in 2 turns. Now, for me, I am going to have to use this Space Warp. Unfortunately, I believe I have to do it to get it down in 2 turns. And we're going to try to do this. Hopefully, RNG won't be too much. Now, I usually hold my ultimate here. It's on a 3-turn cooldown, so I can probably pop it here to try and get this hand down. And then we can just AoE with Bulin. Now, as I mentioned, there are lots of different comps. Feel free to experiment. This is what's been working for me the best. Let's see if we can get that hand down. We actually got it down in 1 turn. That is another thing I wanted to mention since we are here. The Titan does get weaker and will take more damage as time goes on because players are contributing resources. So this is where I'm at right now. Let's go ahead and do defense down. And one thing I need to do is I need to check on Jacob. We need to try to get his rage all the way full. And until then, I don't want to pop any ultimates because the idea here is to synchronize Opal's ultimate with Jacob's ultimate. Now, right now, the guy's stunned, so we're not going to be getting any counterattacks in, which does help to build up the rage on Jacob. So, unfortunately, it looks like it's going to take a little bit longer than I wanted to. But maybe I should have, probably should have put up counterattack there. Didn't get to do it. A little too late now, so we'll have to see if RNG is with us this time around. Let's use this. I am recording this after a very long day of work. It is almost midnight for me. It's past reset, so I probably could have done it differently a little bit there, but I wanted to show you how I did it. And for the most part, we are trying to sync Opal's and Jacob's ultimates. Now, if this does not work, we can always restart it. You have 3 chances. You can always restart it. You don't lose a key. This is a little bit slower. However, we are in round 4. I feel like last time I did this, I popped his ultimate a little bit earlier. But let's go ahead and see what happens here. We're at 800k here, and we should be up too slow. Yep, so I did miss 1 turn there, unfortunately. So this is a little bit RNG dependent, a little bit RNG heavy. And right now, let's go ahead and use this. I feel like we should have used it last turn, so this might actually hurt us. So this is still something to experiment with. I don't have it 100% down. I had a really good run, and this might be an okay run, but we're going to run it anyway. We're going to see how it goes, and then we can just probably pop this on auto since Jacob is very low. The whole idea here is to try to get 1.5 mil if we can. The joint attacks will help. As I mentioned, I am recording this after work. Right now, it's after 11 o'clock for me. I have been up since 7 a.m. I am starting to get a little bit tired. And right now, I am doing this on auto because their ultimates, Jacob's and Opal's ultimates, synchronized. However, as I mentioned before, I feel like I did this one turn earlier, but maybe not. So right now, we can do, depending on who's left alive, Jacob survives luckily. Depending on who gets stunned, who's left alive, this is a little bit of an RNG game at this point. I am going to let them run on auto for right now because I know I have a couple of turns for Jacob's cooldowns as well as Opal, and I am going to prepare to put it on manual. Let's go ahead and see who's left alive, and he actually wipes everybody. We got 1.7 on that one. I feel like we could have got a little bit more. However, same thing here, right? Starting off, Marion Shadowblood, we can probably use her ultimate. This team does not do as much damage as it used to. I think we're going to save this Rage Bloom. This depends on how much damage we do here. So I think we're going to save the Rage Bloom. Actually, let's go ahead and use it. It is on a 4-turn cooldown. However, it will give us counterattacks, so that might help. And then what I think I'm going to do is I'm going to use Jonathan. I'm going to use Jonathan here for his ultimate. By the way, Jonathan is amazing with his shields. If you are not using him in this comp, go ahead and use him. I really don't want to use any more ultimates, but depending on how much damage you are doing, we want to try to get this down. Basic there with Erendil. Erendil doesn't really do much. Hopefully these counterattacks help depending on the order. Here we go. So that is the right order. We should get some counterattacks, some cannons to his face. They actually did not counterattack. That is very interesting. Okay, moving on. Flarence, I think we're just going to use her basic. Let's try to get this down in 2 turns. This is why I was struggling with, because if we don't get it down in 2 turns, we're taking a lot more unnecessary damage. And it doesn't look like we will. It looks like I'm close, but I don't think we will. However, Jonathan's providing us really good shields, so we're just going to continue. I want to build up rage with Erendil so we can unload on his face. Can we get this down? No, I did last time. I did not this time, so something changed. Maybe taking Raven out wasn't the best decision, but I feel like we're going to try. A lot of this game is really fun about experimenting. So at this point, we could probably just put it on auto because everybody is ready to go. Let's just auto it from here, see how it goes. Scarlet's going to do some bleeds. I was trying the Raven and Scarlet with some bleeds. However, I don't have enough bleeds. You know who else can be really good in here is Mikasa. I did not put her in. I just tried her in Clan Boss at level 50. She is very good. So instead of Erendil, kick Erendil out and use Mikasa if she is built. I completely forgot about her. I built her to 50. Used her in Clan Boss. She was hitting some 30,000 damage on her ultimate, which I know is pretty good, but it can be a lot higher. Opal hits for almost 100k on her ultimate with the joint attack, Shane, and with William. So she is really, really strong. And Mikasa is not there yet, but I did want to try her. So if you have her, feel free to use her here, especially with Scarlet. Should be really good. And then you can pair her with Raven or Zitlin to do a lot more damage. So right now, we are coming up on almost 2 mil. This is going to put us into the double S tier. And I feel like what's given us a lot more survivability here is Flarence. And that is why when I hit 2.8 mil, I ended up taking Flarence out because Jonathan gave us plenty of survivability. But I did want to add her in for the extra increased damage and the counterattacks. So we're gonna see how it goes. Let's feel free to experiment as well. Feel free to try different comps. You got 3 different keys, plus if you exit out, I don't believe you lose a key. So here we are. 2 mil is where you need to be to hit double S. I think the next one's like 5 or 6 mil. I will not get there, but double S is enough to be able to purchase Aaron in the shop with points. So this is how you do it. I hope this was helpful. I can go over all of their gear really quickly and all of their stats, but I feel like this is more of experimenting with comps than a than exactly what to do tutorial. This is how these events go, and this is why lots of different comps work, and lots of different people run different comps depending on the heroes they have and depending on the synergy of the heroes. So don't be afraid to experiment. If you are struggling, try different comps out. If it doesn't run good, just exit out. I don't believe you lose a key. Correct me if I'm wrong. Leave me a comment down below if you lose a key, if you just exit. I don't believe you do. So we're pushing 2.2 mil. I am going to get to a point where he's just going to one-shot my team. Now, Jonathan is providing amazing shields. My Erendil is super weak, so he's not doing much there. There's really nobody here that's super strong. There we go. So I did a lot more damage last time with Raven, so maybe I'll put her in, and maybe I can try it with Mikasa as well. Right, so at this point, what I would encourage you to do is experiment with your own comp. I feel like showing off all of their gear is going to take way too long, so feel free to experiment with this comp. I hope this video was helpful. Feel free to experiment with your own comp. There are lots to choose from. If you go to the leaderboard and go to the individual rankings, you can see lots of people have more than 10 million, 10, 11, 12 million, and there are lots of comps here, which means just about anything works. You just have to pair them correctly. I hope this video was helpful. Leave me a like and a subscribe down below. Also, leave me a nice comment. Let me know where you are and where you've improved from, if you have improved. I would love to know how you're doing in this event. And if you are still struggling after this video, maybe give it another couple of days, because he is going to get weaker as we all continue to contribute resources. With that said, leave me a like and a subscribe down below. For more BearCozy videos, check out the top right.